About to talk with Gage. They start the conversation, and as I'm listening to the interview, the next thing you know, you hear all of the ignitions start of the 3 or 4 different vehicles that start getting driven around to drag the infield and work on the plate and everything. And it kind of sounded for a moment like Bubba was doing the interview from a NASCAR pit crew area. It was didn't sound like a baseball field at that moment. Oh man, it was a good day at Baum Walker last night. Matt, how'd the Champions League work out yesterday? I have no clue what went down.
Well, it was absolutely theater at its finest. Leroy Sané and Harry Kane both had a goal for Bayern, and then Vinicius Jr. He's the young star. He had 2 goals, so it was 2-2 draw first leg. Return leg May 8th. And then you get Dortmund and PSG today, Phil, and you know how I like to Kylian Mbappe. That's LeBron James in his prime. He's the best player in soccer right now. He plays for PSG, so it's really kind of a David Goliath type of matchup.
Well, sounds like something worth watching. What time does that start? Usually these are
2-0-0,
matches, right?
2-0-0. That's right. I guess 1400. Yeah.
I'm trying to do my best. Well, I mean, there's so many things that would go into doing it, but I'm trying to do a little piece of my best Matt Jones for today. See what I brought into the booth today, Matt? It's the first time I've done it.
That's real. That's actually, you got to be careful with that. That's real stuff right there, Phil. That's
now, without telling anybody what it is.
3 ounces. 3 ounces at most. Dilute that. Cut that a little bit with some reaction agent known as H2O. You know,
Are you telling me that this is a little extra caffeinated?
That's more caffeine than the turquoise bottle, the light blue label. That one, that's real syrup right there.
This is okay. So I actually have no idea what I bought here. I was just looking for iced coffee.
That's the espresso coffee, and then you can get the coffee, cold brew coffee. But you went all. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just take it easy. You know, don't drink a whole cup. Drink half.
You're telling me this is the jolt of iced coffee? It's called Stoke.
It will give you wings. That's right, and it does taste like the people. You know, I said, yeah, that's Stoke coffee. It tastes like the people, and somebody was like sweat.
Oh, man. What have I bought for myself here? I really thought all I did was just get something that would taste good, keep me awake a little bit during the second game tonight. Not like I need problems staying awake. It's just going from a radio show right into a baseball broadcast.
That right there, get you an ice cube, make it like a little teacup. Just make you little portions of that. It's real stuff.
Great. I thought this was going to be easy today. It turns out I'm putting my life in danger if I drink this the way that I was going to. I planned on maybe drinking this whole thing. This whole thing, which is 48 fluid ounces, that probably would kill me if I tried that.
Yeah. Take 6 ounces and then wait 30 minutes and see what you're. But you're a professional coffee drinker. You know, I'm not. I'm a lightweight when it comes to coffee. I can't drink as much coffee as people, but just a little coffee does me just enough.
All right. Well, we had a long one last night, so I guess that's the reason why I'm feeling it just a little bit, because we had a little 3-hour, 10-minute game. I wasn't able to get to bed until about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like I'm feeling it. Right? All I did was hang out and watch a little bit of TV after a 12-7 win, in which 8 pitchers got on the field yesterday. Gage Wood got the start, and when you hear Dave Van Horn postgame talking about some 2 of the pitchers that are not available for this week, and who knows if they'll be available at all for the remainder of the season, you can see why Wood got the start. The Razorbacks now, I don't think you'd call it like an announcement or anything. It's just the questions about Hunter Dietz, who hasn't pitched. It's been over a month since Dietz pitched, and what Dave said post-game yesterday is they don't expect him to pitch for the remainder of the season. But it's Colin Fisher, and with him not throwing today or being available this week, and Dave being a little bit tight-lipped about it, just not elaborating on what the injury is, that does make you realize that they needed to look for a new starting pitcher, and Gage got that opportunity. And in order to be so there's a difference between, I view a starting pitcher as somebody that's going to go out and give you, hopefully get through the order at least twice. If we're going to go by this theory that the third time through the batting order, you don't want to let a pitcher face batters a third time through, and I know the reasons why, and it makes sense for a lot of them, not every one of them, but some of them. Then I'd look at a starter as somebody who can go through the order twice. Gage went through the order once yesterday. That's more of an open, if you want to use that term or not. But they got him off to a good start, and then you just kind of pieced it together the rest of the way. And hey, when you get a grand slam from your cleanup batter in the first inning, things ought to go well for you. And for the most part, it was 9-0. You end up with a 12-7 win. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily got very hairy later on. It's just for a moment it looked like they'd have a chance to run rule them. And you end up with a win anyway, and you're 11-0 in the midweek. So
there you go.
Nothing really to complain about as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to change it back to basketball, but you were still going baseball. But I don't know if you saw the theater that was the New York Knicks Philadelphia 76ers up 6 with 28. You know how I told you I thought Maxey was one of those guards? You got Dame Lillard, Brunson that should be on the Olympic team. Maxey showed you why. Man, that dude, he put on a show last night, Phil. They were down 6 with 28 seconds to go. And New York just Amber Hearded. I mean, that's the only way you can put it, man. They had 4, 5, 6 point lead the entire game, and then Maxey caught fire, and he put on a man, young up and coming star. Phil, if you're the Sixers, you have to re-sign him to a max deal. No question about it.
Isn't that the second?
He's a Kentucky guy too.
Time, but is that the second time in this series that there's
flipped.
been a late?
Yeah.
I mean, a really kind of late big comeback.
Yeah, it flipped in game 2. The Knicks were able to come back and put it back. And so I heard this stat too, Phil. The Knicks haven't closed out a series in the Garden in over 25 years. That was a closeout game. They were up 3-1, leading the whole game. Joel Embiid's on one leg, has a quadruple double, one turnover away from a quadruple double. And just you couldn't believe your eyes when the game was over and the Sixers won.
Well, keeping it on basketball, did you see that they land Johnell Davis yesterday? I don't think it's been a signing; it's more of a commitment to Coach Calipari. So there's your big scoring guard, guy that's already done it for 3 years. I guess this is also depending on whether or not he is drafted. He's made himself available for the draft, and he's going to stay in the draft. So unless he. What do you think? Is this somebody that will go in a place where you think he might decide to go play professionally?
So here's Phil. We've done this show long. He's 7th, I think, all time at FAU in scoring. What I saw, he needs. I'd have to see more tape on him because I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of FAU ball. These kids are not. I get it. It's your dream to go to the NBA. But he's not ready. You need. Can he be an NBA player and can he play for multiple? Absolutely, he can. But just trust the process. Take your time. Get with Calipari. Run a team in the SEC. Be that guy. Well, all you're doing is improving your draft stock. I mean, if you can play or you can't, can he make a living playing basketball for the next 10 years? Absolutely. But I still think he needs a couple years. You need another year of college ball, another off season. I saw the transfer class Coach Muss has graduate. 5th year. Play another year, get another college offseason, and you run a college team, run an SEC team. Let's see what you can do. You're gonna have the best coach, and you're gonna have some of the best talented players around you. How is that not screaming inviting? Or you're gonna go play in the main lead with Jordan Walsh, up and down the Chesapeake Bay in front of 7 people at it. Just chill out, go up to the hill, do your thing, take us to a Final Four.
You can get paid a little bit here too.
That's
right?
the other. I didn't even brought that up. That's the whole point. You can make 6 figures, 7 figures playing college basketball. I mean, it's a no-brainer to stay in college and run the Razorbacks. No question about it.
All right, so help me out with this drink for just a moment before.
So here's what I do
right?
with that, Phil.
How many parts water? How many parts coffee?
What I do is if I have one of those, I pour my regular coffee and then I just pour a double shot of espresso in there. I would pour about 6 ounces in there and then you'll know.
All right, so I'm gonna have a little bit of this during the commercial break. If I don't show back up for the second part for the Grant Hall conversation coming up next, I mean, then send the ambulance. I'm like
big ice cube, maybe
on
even
the floor with caffeine overdose.
Oh no, you did right. You got the right stuff. You just gotta. It's what is Jerry Seinfeld said that the labels are for rookies. Glug glug glug. So just.
I didn't read the label. All I did was hey, this one's a little bit cheaper than the Starbucks brand.
Yes, it
so
is.
Let's go with that one.
That's why I get the Stoke as well. That's right. It's about 75 cents cheaper. Yeah.
I'm actually a little nervous to start drinking this. I'm very nervous. I'm going to just taste it on the air and see if maybe, I got to spit it out.
No,
if I spit
no.
it out, I'm going to do it over to my left. That's Bubba Carpenter's seat.
It tastes a little harsh. It tastes a little bitter, just like you would think a winter would be in
That's
Stoke.
actually that's a lovely earthy flavor.
Earthy's
and not,
a great word.
Usually, earthy is usually not a positive flavor word, or it's more. Is earthy a flavor, or is it a texture, or is it a combination of both? For me, this is a positive earthiness.
Absolutely, that you nailed it.
All right. I feel good about this now. I'm no longer scared. I'm no longer going to have caffeine overdosing unless I choose to, and just glug this whole thing down.
Yeah. Labels are for rookies.
We'll have Clay Henry joining us at the top of the hour for a couple of hours on halftime. He's got a new column up on hitthatline.com where, of course, you can read the one and only Clay Henry for free. And Grant Hall coming up in just a moment on halftime, so stay with us.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com. Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, college at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon, touchdown Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Pay attention, this happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Bo Tommy. Visit medley.com or come see us at 2150 Ford Avenue, Springdale, Arkansas.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Save $30 on the Steel FS56 RCE gas string trimmer, only $199. Get hanging flower baskets for only $7.99 and hanging basket ferns for only $11.99. And find the Craftsman string trimmer and blower kit with 2 batteries, only $99 with your Ace Rewards card. Find us online at JaegersHardware.com.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
This summer, take control of your outdoor space with a mosquito misting system from Mosquito Joe. It's the ultimate solution for mosquito-free living. Mosquito Joe installs cutting-edge misting systems discreetly around areas such as pools, patios, and boat docks to create a protective barrier that banishes those annoying bugs. The best part is, you don't have to do a thing. It's like having a mosquito control technician in your yard 24/7. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Under my thumb, the girl who once had me down. Under my thumb, the girl who once pushed me around. It's down to me. The difference in the ocean, well, it's down to me. The change has come. She's under my thumb.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, look at this little piece of news coming out from 247 Sports Portal on Twitter. Trevin Brazile has entered the transfer portal too. So he's taking the same tack that Johnell Davis is taking, I guess. Although you got to pick a school first. I wonder if he's going in the draft too.
I wonder if he sat down with
trying to do.
I wonder if him and Coach Cal have sat down and talked. You know, because you think they have, like, as a coach, wouldn't you want to? You would identify the fight. He has to know him. He's coached against him. But you want to kind of get a feel for the kid and see what he's wanting to do. And because, I mean, Brazil's a player, man. Say what you want. The dudes can play, and he's gonna be able to play in the NBA. You're just watching him grow right now. He's still a couple years away.
All guests join us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Grant Hall is there with us here. Now, Grant, Brazil's in the portal now too, and it's kind of the same situation of the newest commit, Johnell Davis. Although he's picked the school, it's just a matter of if. You got to hear the right thing from the right people in the NBA. You know, if you think you're going to stick in the draft or pull your name out, and it's just interesting that Brazile is in the portal at the same time that he's available in the draft too.
Yeah, keeping options open. I was just reading this story this morning about Mark's story in the Lexington Herald Leader about it's almost like a nanny boo-boo thing about how Mark Pope has gotten commitments from 6 players, including 3 transfers who will be fifth-year seniors, I guess, you know, and kind of like the difference between how Calipari did it all those years and this extra COVID year is about to go away, right? And so then maybe that'll level the playing field a little bit, but he makes some interesting points about how the game has gotten older, and since 2016, out of 160 players starting in the Final Four, 107 have been juniors or above in eligibility. So that's going to probably go back the other way a little bit after the extra seasons go away, right? I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, what is it? It's 2024, so you may have another year of it. That's about it. And then I don't know. I mean, there's still the idea. So college basketball, let's just stick with basketball. All the sports have gotten older, really. It's not just basketball. It's football. It's baseball. It's everything. Every athlete got a COVID year, so I think every sport got older.
Except for Ken Little, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The youngest kicker ever drafted. That's a good point. But even moving forward, like you could still see where men's college basketball stays not as old as it is now, but the idea that this is a way to win. You know, it's what do you need to do to win? And, you know, the way that you're constructing a roster, just look at what Cal's doing here. He's brought in, you got, 3 of his commits from Kentucky. To me, that might be all you get, and it looks like he's putting the rest of the team together through the transfer portal.
Well, the story says that when Calipari was still the coach at Kentucky in March, he joked on his radio show about having to play against 27-year-old men who went home at the end of practices to their wives and families with 3 children. And now they've got a different head coach who's enthusiastically using these super seniors. So it'll go like it goes in the next year or two. But I think Arkansas fans have to be thrilled so far with the players they've gotten. I mean, they've gotten some players, let's face it, that they had not been getting, with the stars and potential and number 3 or 5 or 7, this and that, and that's what Calipari brings.
That's what I was going to ask you, Grant. Who's your favorite so far? Is it the kid from Tennessee? Is he that you've seen, and all the guys that we've gotten so far? Who's kind of stands out to you?
Yeah, maybe so. Just because we have seen him. I mean, I haven't really seen the other guys. So, yeah, just their names. But you wonder what is this 6 or 7 to go in terms of scholarships, and I mean, people. Here you were left with one walk on, and wailing and gnashing of teeth. But in a sense, it gave Calipari, a blank sheet with a lot to put on there. So it'll be interesting to see what the other half of this class looks like.
Hey, did you watch the tournament at New Orleans that Rory and Shane Lowry won?
Yeah, I did watch quite a bit of that I could. A lot of it on recorded, but yeah, that was nice for Rory. It's his 25th official win. It ties him with Johnny Miller, in the all-time win list, and they had fun. Those 2 guys sang karaoke, I think, that night when it was over. So
I bet
it's the first time Roy had ever been in New Orleans. That's kind of strange, isn't it?
He said they were not necessarily calling the Hogs, but every night they'd go out to eat, and they were just giving them standing ovations. He said they're going to come back and defend their title. Hey, the next major is the PGA Championship in Valhalla. You can't say it without saying John Daly. Do you remember, where were you when John Daly won at Valhalla?
Well, he didn't actually win at Valhalla.
Oh, okay.
He won at Crooked Stick earlier. I think he has played at that. In fact, I went to the last PGA they had at Valhalla. The one that kind of finished in the dark, and Mickelson got mad because they were like playing a foursome on the west to beat darkness. I think Rory, I believe he won that one. But I don't know if that was the last one there or not. The one that everyone remembers is that one Tiger hit the shot on the last hole and the ball started to look like coming backwards and all that stuff. But who knows? I mean, right now it'd be hard to bet against Scheffler in any kind of setting. Although he hasn't won any major besides the Masters yet.
Hey, did I see the women's golf team at Arkansas has been seeded into an NCAA regional? Isn't that coming up soon?
Yeah, men and women. That's coming up. I think maybe 1 week apart, and they both should do well. Bill, you've probably talked about this already, but I wanted to mention the scene last night with Keith Gutton, with on one side Dave Van Horn and the other Norm DeBryan, who represent 55 consecutive years of Arkansas coaching. Of course, this is Keith's 42nd and last. And Dave Van Horn said we wouldn't really see this again. Bob Holt and I were talking about that last night. In fact, we went down and talked to Gutton after the game, and it was funny because he said he's not a fisherman. They gave him this fishing equipment, and he's got.
I just assumed he was a fisherman because he's lived in Springfield for all these years. I mean, Bass Pro's right there. Why would you be giving him fishing tackle otherwise?
Well, I guess baseball coaches don't have a whole lot of free time to do anything else as much as they put into it. But he's maybe his 4 and 5 year old grandsons will get him to do that. But it was. He said some really funny stuff. I mean, he calls Bob his favorite other team sports writer. And back in the day, one time at a regional, Bob can ask some pretty tough questions sometimes. And they were going back and forth at it pretty good, but always with respect. And it was fun for me to see the interchange between them last night, including one. There's one story I can't tell. Maybe after the statute of limitations of a few years, maybe I can tell this story that's really funny about what happened last night. But we're down there watching him, and he's shielding his eyes, I guess, from the lights. I couldn't tell if he was giving signals or just trying to see. But I mean, he's still on every pitch. I mean, they came back from, as you know, 9-0 to what was it, 11-7 at one point in that game, and this is a down year for them. But he has lost not one bit of intensity.
Yeah, I was reminded because I was just double checking the last time that Missouri State had made it to a regional, and it was the regional that Arkansas won in Stillwater. We missed them. We didn't play them in that regional. It's because they lost 2 out of their first 3, including, do you remember this? They're up 12-0 on Oklahoma State and lost 29-15, which is like, well, the other day was Georgia blew a 9-run lead in the first inning against Texas A&M. That's They got nothing. They got nothing on Missouri State in the 2022 Stillwater Regional.
And they got run ruled, right? No, wait.
Yeah. No, they don't do the run rules.
They don't do that, but it was 19-9 or something, right, at the end.
Well, it was 29-15. Oh, you mean the A&M game? That's right. Yeah, 19-9 was the final score of that game. That's right. Yeah, down 9 and winning in a run rule. That's kind of crazy.
Well, Tennessee lost to Lipscomb last night. Not that it means anything, but and there were some other close games. Arkansas's got a chance to go 12-0 and win all the non-conference for the first time, I think, since 2005. So that'll be a goal this afternoon. There's starting to be some injuries, some different things. Guy and this, with pitchers, and Dave didn't talk a whole lot about it last night, but Gage Wood had a good one, and who knows, maybe we'll see him again this weekend in a pretty important role.
Hey, Grant, I saw where Jacoby Criswell went back to North Carolina. Do you think we missed on one, or do you think that's just a sense of we got a new OC coming in and he wanted to go get his guy? So, he had him in spring ball, because I really think Jacoby can play.
Yeah, they brought the 3 quarterbacks in after the big, I guess, the final scrimmage, and talked to all of them. And, he was very complimentary, and he was affable with the other quarterbacks, and actually, looked up to Taylon Green as the clear starter and everything. But he wants to play, and I guess he felt good about his time there. And it appeared to me that he was kind of falling behind. Other guys were, for lack of a better way to put it, beating him out.
Well, that's a good thing for Arkansas, huh? That you had because I think Jacoby's a good quarterback, and if we had a quarterback beat him out, well, man, that's saying something.
Yeah, I think so, and good luck to him back at he's got to beat out a couple of guys there, but maybe he can do it, and with not much time to do it in the fall.
Grant, let's leave it there. Ran out of time here. Appreciate you as always, and see you at Baum later today. Okay.
Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Grant.
Grant Hall with us every Wednesday on Halftime. Clay Henry coming up in about 30 minutes. Get a load of this number, maybe something to get into in the next segment. According to Jeff Goodman, today's the last day the portal's open for basketball. This is the last day to get in.
If your coach hasn't left?
Yeah, but I don't know if any coach – now, that's true. I mean, you still have 30 days from when the coach leaves to make your decision. So,
but you got to be in. I got you. You got to be in. This is the last day to enter the portal.
Today's the day. 1,832 Division I basketball players. That's just the men's basketball players. That you could fill up 141 teams with 13 scholarships out of just the players that are in the transfer portal for Division I men's basketball. That's wild. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on our McClarty Daniel hotline. Halftime will be back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We all know breakfast is an important part of your day, but sometimes when you're traveling for business, you end up staying at a hotel that doesn't offer any. You know what happens? You grab a cup of coffee and skip the meal entirely. We've all been there. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. And really, who doesn't want to start their day with a fresh hot waffle? Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas, located at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and 416 North 10th Street in Fort Smith. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at precisiondoornwa.com. Financing is available. Precision Overhead Door voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Precision Overhead Door.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So I saw this piece of a podcast from Texags that Jim Schlossnagle was on. He's the head baseball coach at Texas A&M, the number one team in the country, and the team that Arkansas is a game ahead of in the Western Division, and they'll finish the regular season against them. Schlossnagle was, you could use the word accusation, though. He apparently didn't feel like naming whomever it is that he wanted to call out about what he termed a live feed in the dugout, and was pointing out that apparently some team in the SEC, in his terminology, had been found out that they were doing something illegal, and pointed to numbers between home and road. I think he pointed out a 306 home batting average, a 206 road batting average. And obviously he's not going to be calling his own team out in this case. And I kind of feel like this is a big nothing burger. I don't really think there's much there's much going on here with this. Because if you're pointing, first of all, I don't know what a live feed is in this case. Is the live feed that he's referring to the TrackMan, which every team has available to themselves, home and road? Or is he referring to a video feed, which would be, I guess, the illegal aspect of it? But then the other aspect of this, too, is, first of all, TrackMan in the dugout does not help you cheat. It doesn't help you know what the pitch that the pitcher's about to throw is. It doesn't help you in that case. It doesn't send the ball any farther. I don't think TrackMan helps you cheat if it's in the dugout or at all. What it does is it helps you realize how fast somebody ran, how fast somebody threw, maybe the release height of their pitch, all of that kind of stuff. You can check the strike zone and stuff like that, but that's not going to help you cheat or, win or lose anyway. The video feed thing, like that, you're in a place now where most teams in the SEC, if not all of them, are utilizing the watch. So they're not using signs anymore. It's like it's impossible to steal the signs. If you were used to be worried about the camera in center field. Now, remember last year, Matt, people thought that TCU was like stealing the sign somehow because they were unstoppable in the regional.
Well, one guy hit more home runs in the regional than he did all year. Yeah.
He hit more home runs in one game, if I remember. Yeah. What was his name? Richardson, not Ty. Can't remember the kid's first name.
Trey?
Trey, that's right. It was close enough to Ty.
Yeah.
But they're not flashing signs now. I mean, Ole Miss might have been doing signs, but the catchers are pushing a button. There's nothing to steal.
Doesn't it?
So I don't really know. To me, this feels like a really big nothing burger. And then to point out to the home and road stats also does not throw in the idea that if you're looking at the entire season's home road stats, well, then you're talking about the games that you score 12 against Missouri State, the games you score 11 against Little Rock. The midweek games where the numbers get a little bit askew and everything gets lowered when it comes to SEC play in the weekends because you're facing better competition. These teams don't play a lot of these games against lower-level competition on the road. It's always going to happen at home, and your numbers are going to be better at home because of that. So I don't know. Some are trying to make a big deal out of this. I'm not. I don't think this is a big deal at all. I think it's Jim Schlossnagle just kind of throwing a random grenade out there, and maybe he was just complaining about a difference in the amount of money that some teams have compared to others and the technology that's available to them. I don't know, but to me, the deal with the Georgia pitcher who was utilizing whatever that was sticking on his thumb and his glove and everything, that to me feels like it might be a little bit of a bigger deal, because I don't really think that whatever kind of live feed he's talking about has the same effect as it might have had 3 years ago or even 2 years ago before they were utilizing the watch and they were utilizing the earpiece. So, people will throw out their ideas of which team Schlossnagle's referring to. Is it Arkansas? I don't know. Could be Vanderbilt. Could be Mississippi State.
I don't think he's talking about Arkansas hitting. Yeah.
Well, the Arkansas numbers between home and road are pretty dramatically different overall in the SEC. They're a lot closer together when it comes to the SEC, and a lot of that has much more to do with the talent of pitchers that you're facing and the fielders behind them than anything about, well, you're cheating at home. So, yeah, it's when it is that time of the year where teams in college baseball start pointing to the others and say, oh, look at what these guys are doing and how they're doing it. I saw where the selection committee is warning against teams to not cancel midweek games for RPI reasons. And we've seen them do this before, too. And it's always looked at like, oh, you're scared of competing, but they're just trying to game the system for RPI. So the whole Schlossnagel thing, I think, is more a big nothing burger than anything else. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Steven asked, do both teams have TrackMan at Ball and Walker? They have it available to them. The pitchers in the stands have it available to them when they're charting. They have all the information available to them that they would have at their home ballpark as well. You know, when I go on the road with the Razorbacks now, I'm on their TrackMan network. So they have their own little road Wi-Fi network that's set up to run TrackMan. It's perfectly legal for the visiting teams to do the same thing. So, again, and the thing about TrackMan is that's more about. It doesn't. What is cheating? What is cheating in baseball? Cheating is doctoring your equipment. You know, might use an illegal bat that somehow you find a way to get through with the sticker on it. It could be doctoring the ball. It could be utilizing some kind of an illegal substance to get a better grip on the ball. It could be stealing signs, which is a heck of a lot more difficult to do than it ever was before because teams aren't utilizing signs. TrackMan doesn't do anything with this. It doesn't help you in that case. It doesn't tell you what pitch the opponent is throwing. All it tells you is how fast it came in, the kind of spin rate that it came on. It gives you the metrics of the pitch. It doesn't tell you where he's trying to throw it, what pitch he's trying to throw, or anything else that goes into it. So I quite honestly don't see how TrackMan can help you cheat to begin with. I just think it helps you understand what an athlete does as far as the metrics are concerned, how far somebody runs in the outfield, how fast they run on the bases, that kind of stuff. I don't think it helps you cheat. I just think this is a coach just kind of, I don't know, throwing something out there because every once in a while people will throw something out there. Got a text in out of the 479 here, Matt, and he says, really, Matt, Criswell? He wasn't a fan of Criswell. I know you liked what you saw he only got a few opportunities last year, and I thought that they were flashes. I really did think that Jacoby might have an opportunity to compete for the overall job, but, he's not Petrino's guy, and from all reports, it seems that I don't know if he ever really had a chance to compete for the starting role anyway. You get beaten out for the number 2 role, and I agree with you. To me, I think that says something about Malachi Singleton.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing because just like what you said, for what I saw of Jacoby, I liked. And if we got quarterbacks out there beating him out in practice, because I haven't seen practice, that's a really good thing. And you wish him well. You really do. You wish him well. You wonder, all these kids going back to their previous school. Do you think Chris Paul Williams, the linebacker, I forget his name sometimes.
Paul.
That's Chris Paul. You see him coming back. He's going to the league after this year. He'll be drafted next year. And Rocket Sanders, going back. And some of it might be relationships, Phil, because Rocket had a previous relationship with Dow Loggins. Jacoby had a previous relationship with, Snacks Johnson he had a relationship with these coaches, and they feel comfortable there.
That's the it's like going. How everybody will always refer to it as somebody stealing your girlfriend, or it's the end of a marriage and vows and all of that. Is this really like going back to the ex, going down on hands and knees and I made a mistake, please welcome me back or anything? No, I can't. I hate the whole view of viewing it as some sort of a romantic relationship. But I guess maybe there are dates involved in this, right? You take somebody out to dinner and be like, hey, you might want to come back here. I don't know if they do that anymore.
Yeah, the offense was tough to watch. To your point, last year there wasn't a whole lot to write home about. I'm an Armstrong fan. I think he's going to show out this year, Phil, and I think Centenia's gonna blow up. I think that somebody that we don't know about yet, that we didn't see last year, is also gonna emerge, and then we might have the best collection of pass catching tight ends in the country, Phil. If you now, I don't know about really buckling down and blocking somebody because of their youth, but that doesn't mean they can't get better at blocking. But when it comes to pass catching, running routes, getting open, Luke Haas is just as good as any of them.
Got to do something about the shoulder injuries, though, too. It was like this. I think it at least felt like the same injury for both Haas and for Ty Washington.
They fit those pads too. You go in and see the trainer, Phil, and I'm sure they do this still. They go in and they mold your shoulders. They fit the pads to you. So whatever it is, and a lot of times maybe you use something in high school and they try to work with you because everybody's a little different. It's like, what do you want? What do you like? Here's what's new. Does this feel comfortable? And all players, they want to be light and free and fast. But maybe you do have to carry a little extra weight. You got to make sure you can be durable because it's like the farther up you go, the less pads you wear. You wore more pads in high school than you did in college. And then the pros, you watch those, they don't have any pads. I mean, very lightweight, hardly any knee pads or thigh pad, just a couple things there. And then, but if you're a running back instead of a receiver, then you're going to have the pads on.
Well, and I also think it's a really tough sport. I mean, it's a dangerous sport. Sometimes, no matter how you're padded up, the way you land, you may end up getting hurt. Tough sport. All right, we'll break here on halftime. Time to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
This is halftime.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Nashville, Arkansas, Saturday, May 18th and Sunday, May 19th. Tickets are just $10 per person, a discounted rate of $8 for veterans, military, and police. Plus, children 16 and under get in free. Saturday, the event goes from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. Stop by the American Patriot Promotions Gun Show in Nashville, located at 1565 Highway 371 West at the Howard County Fairgrounds.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 7. $479. Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Do you think we'll be in love forever? Do you think we'll be in love? Baby, put on heart-shaped sunglasses, 'cause we're gonna take a ride. I'm not gonna listen to what the past says. I've been waiting up all night. Take another drag, turn me to ashes, ready for another love. Says it's gonna teach me just what fast is. Say it's gonna be alright. I'm gonna do, baby, New York City. Now it's a little girl so pretty. Do you think we'll be in love forever? Do you think we'll be in love?
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back on halftime, wrapping up hour number one. There's the official announcement on Johnell Davis's Instagram page. Committed. He's wearing the Razorback uniform, so that it's all official now as far as that's concerned. So you've got your, what do you have? Six officially committed to play for Cal and Arkansas this next year. Jonas Adu, Zvonimir Ivisic, Johnell Davis, and the freshmen coming in, Carter Knox, Boogie Fland, and Billy Richmond. Apparently, Cal told one of the high school players he's recruiting right now that just moving from one school to the other, it's still Calipari University. I saw this on a 247 Sports page, and I don't know. I mean, if that wouldn't bother me necessarily. They've always said the brand is the school, but the brand for the program is also the coach, and that's the same, I think, just about anywhere. And this goes along with the conversation of who it is you're going to play for. Yeah, you're going to play for the uniform you're wearing, but you choose where you're going based on the coach. And, Kentucky fans are trying to point out that, of course, because they're going to make a comment about anything that happens at Arkansas now. Anything. And they're going to say how proud they are that now you get a coach that views it as Kentucky instead of Calipari University, and it's amazing. Matt, I've never quite seen anything like it right now. Any single thing that happens at Arkansas men's basketball now, the Kentucky folks are paying attention to it. And they care about it, maybe as much as any Arkansas fan does.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see these next 3 years, see who has the better record, see who has better success, who gets to a Final Four first. I thought big news, Phil, that guard, the Alabama guard, the three-point shooter that went to Kansas with Hunter Dickinson, he said he's coming back and staying at Kansas. I thought that was just as big as news as anybody. He got hurt last year. But I think Kansas is one of those teams on the short list that you pencil them in for the Final Four. I mean, they're going to be what they did in the portal, and then having Hunter come back being healthy. Kansas is going to be tough next year.
Guess are we still waiting to hear about Mark Sears?
He's a college guy. I can just tell you right now, he's not.
Alabama's going to be really good too.
Yeah, he comes back. He's going to be leading the line. He's going to make just as much money. He's a college guy. I don't know that he shoots the ball good enough at his size to be. He's not ready yet, but he's got to work on his shot if he's going to go to the next level, because he's going to have unlimited range. But being as little as he is, not really above the rim player. I like his game. He could be an All-American point guard in the college game. He's not ready. Kind of like Freddie Roach, like he's just kind of not ready. I mean, and he might not ever really. I mean, you got to be a pterodactyl to play in the NBA. We know that.
Clay Henry will join us. He's He's a verbal pterodactyl.
A Galactico.
He is a verbal pterodactyl Galactico, and he joins halftime for the next
Very
couple of
nice.
hours right after this. It's well done.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. No win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increasing chance of some showers and thunderstorms across the north, staying dry and sunny further south. A high today, low to mid 80s. Partly cloudy sky tonight, an overnight low into the low to mid 60s. And then another chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday, highs in the 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. And the dump.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into halftime on a Wednesday, now just afternoon. Phil Elson, along with my friend Matt Jones, And the C Unit, Kristen Johnston, producing, welcoming in the one and only, the Hall of Famer and former publisher and editor of Hogs Illustrated and current national senior columnist for hitthatline.com is Clay Henry. Clay, with National Senior works, doesn't it? I mean, it's worldwide, really. We don't just have to be national. You can be the worldwide official columnist on hitthatline.com. How you doing?
I have readers in Thailand and Germany, I know.
Worldwide, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, they send me notes. Singapore, Hong Kong, Thailand, Germany. An old college roommate lives in Germany, and he reads everything I write.
That's good.
I think he does. He acts like he does.
So that's what I'll go with then. Worldwide senior columnist Clay Henry, at least for the remainder of the show. We'll see if it sticks.
Yeah, it's whatever you want to do is fine. Fisherman Clay, I like that one too.
Well, Fisherman Clay
that
works.
one's sticking right there. I like that one too, Clay.
That'd be the more informal introduction.
Literary Pterodactyl Galactico.
Literary Pterodactyl Galactico. That's
a commentarian.
I think that'd be a pet name. That'd be a pet name as well.
Yeah.
I think that could work too. Feeling all right too. This Stoke coffee. This has much more caffeine than I expected.
Yeah, you gotta half that one. Clay, did you see any of the Champions League yesterday? You got PSG and your boy Mbappe today.
No, I did not. I've been kind of following Messi in MSL, and I think he's had 5 straight games with 2 goals. and that's not the same. I mean, he could be playing in one of those Champions League games. He'd still fit. But you're right. Mbappe is the dude, but it's, Kane is still going to score his goals. I mean, I'm not Harry Kane.
Oh, he's a G.
Played for Bjorn.
That's Justin Jefferson. When you're trying to correlate it to somebody else, and Leroy Sané out there, CeeDee Lamb, and then Vinicius Jr. would be Tyreek Hill, like running up. I mean, just
Harry Kane is kind of like a pro's pro. I mean,
he can do everything. He's underrated.
Yeah, and he's going to make his teammates shine. He's going to drag a guy off intentionally and let the through ball go. But it's it's good time for soccer. These are elite level games, and they still have to play the second leg on some of these.
That's right.
2 legs, right?
It's today's the first leg for PSG and Dortmund. Then next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll have the return legs of these 2 games.
Pressure's on. Who do you like coming out?
I had Real Madrid and PSG, which that's who it's Real Madrid's tournament. They win this tournament more than any other team in the world. Not that I'm a Real Madrid fan, but you look at their talent. First-class talent, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric's coming off the bench, Rodrigo. I mean, they got dudes.
Yeah, all these folks, they have full names, but you don't use.
Yeah, the Brazilians, right? Like, I mean, it's an understatement to say, oh, that Brazilian kid's really good at soccer.
Yeah, it's like which one? Yeah, or an Argentine. It's just like whatever, they got them. Yeah, that would be one of my bucket lists, is to see one of those Champions League games like that. Just a semifinal.
That atmosphere at Byron, I mean, it's you think Alabama Auburn's got it going on. They got the flag. I mean, they are just chanting and going.
But they're also pieces of a doubleheader. But I feel like I'd want to watch the second half of it, right? Because that's the one that's going to decide.
They come out different, Yeah, you kind of come out with a different game plan.
I've got some sources now for soccer games. So the new principal at Westside has ties to Manchester United, not Manchester City, but his dad played at United, and his best friend, I think, is like ticket manager at Man. Yeah, I think one is one and one's other. Anyway, probably can get tickets if I went to see a game in Manchester. And then my next door neighbor, and that's a loose term because he's 600 yards away, is a former professional goalie in Germany, is a banker there in Munich. He's like, come on, we'll go. He's coaching the goalies for the Mountain Home soccer teams. He comes in for 6 months and goes back to Munich. Manfred Hensler, and but it's kind of cool to have these conversations with internationals about about what goes on over there. And it's, Matt, you keep up with it like my daughter does. I mean, I'll be at her. I'm at her house right now, and tonight we'll watch some of those games replayed.
For Clay, for Matt Jones, a day where the Champions League is being played is the day where there's a second sun up in the sky. So, I mean, that's like one of those days today. You're like Luke Skywalker staring off into the distance. It's just you're not looking to leave that world. You want to stay in that world.
We all have our little things that just really excite us and get our passion going. The cicadas are hatching on the White River today. I sent you a picture.
So what does that sound like? Yeah, I saw the photo of it. It's a beautiful bug.
They don't all hatch, in the same 10 minutes. So it'll be a few days before it reaches a deafening crescendo at night where you think, oh, you're being invaded. But it is real, and it is loud, and the brown trout will go crazy. So just imagine, most of their diet is midges, which are just tiny, and they have to eat 1,000. And then a cicada falls off a limb into the water, and that's like, oh, that's a T-bone right there. That represents about 500 midges, and it's just one little smack. So when they come for it, it is a sight to behold.
And yet you're going to do radio with us here while these things are hatching anyway.
It's okay. It's going to last for 4 to 6 weeks. I'll get my chance.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. The start of the hatch. It's the fish aren't really aware of it yet. They probably haven't moved to the banks, but they will discover them. And there'll be some days they eat so many of them so quickly that you throw one out there and they're not going to eat it. They're already full. I mean, it's just, they do push-aways. It's like, I had enough for today.
Yeah, it's like my son. It's like my son after 6 bites of something I worked an hour and a half on. But I can't do it anymore.
That's it.
You didn't want to stuff him either.
I've been that way. Yep. I
let's
made some homemade fajitas last night and still had a bunch in a big,
Those are breakfast burritos in the morning. Get you a couple eggs and flip those in there.
Yeah, I just had a little raisin bran this morning.
Okay.
Before being on with Tommy and Ty.
Oh, you're double banged today.
Wednesdays was an hour, and then I drove 2 hours, 40 minutes to Sarah's house. And I'm going to go to baseball this afternoon and sit with Bobby Smittle, who is Hog Noxious.
You're finally sitting with Hog Noxious?
Yeah.
He's been inviting you for years.
Well, but it needs to be a midweek game because I think there's somebody, he has another guest for weekends. And so this is the last one, and it's a day game. He can get at 4 o'clock. He can get off work in time to be there. We'll have some pictures with some of his props. I don't think I can heckle anybody, but I will take notes.
If you're going to sit next to Hog Noxious, Clay, how much would it cost to get you to wear a kilt like he's going to wear?
Well, I might hold it up, but I'm not going to wear it. Yeah, I mean, you just wrap it around for a second. You could do that. But his sign that says he kilted, I might hold that up.
Okay.
If somebody kilted.
Man.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I mean, I'm excited for the game just because it's a game to call, but there'll be something out of my left eye I'll be paying attention to over the third base dugout for almost the entire game.
Well, I'll send you a text and give you a heads up. This is because I think his props, he plans it as he goes. Now, there's some things that it is just spur of the moment. I mean, it's got to be, you go with the flow. But he knows when he's going to do certain things. Now, and then have dinner with Sarah tonight, and then early in the morning I'm driving to Norman. Our deal with Switzer was he had to go in the hospital while we were on our way there. So we didn't do it 6 weeks ago, and he's called a couple of times. It's like, please come. I feel awful about and he's got some back issues, that he's still trying to fight through. But at 86, we all have those little nagging things.
Hey, let's take a phone call from Charlie. Let's let Charlie in on this conversation, which means he's been listening to us for the last few minutes.
Okay.
So I wonder, where can you expound here, Charlie? Can you expound on sitting with Hog Noxious, on the cicadas hatching, on European soccer? You have the floor.
I can go anywhere with this. I mean, I want you guys to know that I am just as passionate of a fan as Hog Noxious. I may not have the T-shirt yet, and I don't understand why Eddie doesn't have a T-shirt yet. I may not have one, but I am just as passionate as them, and I may not scream into the phone all the time. But I am a very passionate fan. So I want you guys to know that the tuna, he just has a little different way about doing it when he watches the game. Phil, as far as Gage yesterday, I actually did not get to watch it yesterday, but I saw the stats. He went 3 innings, right? And did you think he looked good?
I think he looked great. I thought he looked great. He looked amped up. He looked ready to be a starting pitcher. I'm excited to see the next chance he gets, which truthfully, I don't know when that's going to be, because I expect that Molina is fine now. I think he threw a bullpen yesterday and it was good, so I'd expect they'd announce him to start Sunday's game against Kentucky. There aren't any more midweek games, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gage is the first starting pitcher in Hoover, because if they finish in first or second place, it's going to be a Wednesday start. So I think Gage would get the start in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good. Might have wanted to see a little more sharpness to his breaking ball. It was a steady diet of fastballs, I think. And those tend to be straight, don't they, Phil, with Gage?
Yeah, but he's got a real. Yeah, it doesn't have the most movement, but the thing that stands out about his fastball, and Bubba even brought it up yesterday, is the arm action is really quick. He hides it kind of, and so I think there's a little added perceived velocity when he hides the ball and was throwing as hard as he was yesterday. He was about 94, so maybe to the hitters it would feel a little faster than that. Good curveball, good changeup yesterday. He's got the starter stuff.
Yeah, the changeup.
He's got the starter stuff.
There. The curve. So I think there was a brief window where he hung some curveballs, and he's kind of gone more to the changeup and the fastball, which that's the sign of taking coaching, and Hobbs has got him lined out. But the fastball is live, and he's spotting it for strikes. He's moving it both sides. He's not just gutting it down the middle.
Yeah, I was impressed with him yesterday, and they need another starting pitcher is what it comes down to, because I would imagine who knows, because Dave was asked about it yesterday, but you're looking for a little elaboration on whatever the injury is for Fisher or why he's not pitching in this series, because it would only make sense, and it's been a minute since Fisher pitched, so something's got to be going on there that they just haven't wanted to bring up yet. And, Bibby's gotten a start, or a bunch of starts in the midweek, and had some moments in the last weekend against Florida. So, but when you get into June, things don't always go according to plan. If you're going according to plan and you win every game, yeah, you only need 3 starting pitchers, but it doesn't always work like that. So you got to have a 4th, and you got to have a 5th. You got to have guys that you feel can stretch it out, and Wood is a guy that can stretch it out. Even if he just comes on in like a 4th inning and something, and you need 3 to 4 innings out of a guy, that's the kind of pitcher he can be in a moment, like in a regional or a game in Omaha.
Yeah, so they're going to be a 1 seed in the regional. They may not be a national seed. They probably will, but they'll be a number 1 seed, and they'll play a number 4, and heck, it might be something that Gage Wood would start that game.
Now that there's a possibility of that too. That's actually an interesting way of looking at it. Instead of starting one of your usual starters, depending on who that opponent is, it would all depend on who the opponent is and what league they play out of. And but yeah, you could. I've never thought about it that way, but you could potentially go with a. Even
I've
if
seen
does start,
Dave do that.
Yeah, by that point, it's like a bullpen game in a sense.
If you're the number 1 overall seed, and they have a chance to be that with the games they have, if they win 6 out of 9, coming up these 3 weekends, they'll be the number 1 overall seed. It doesn't matter what happens in Hoover, and the RPI and everything else. That would probably give them a nod over Texas A&M. And then they're playing the number 64 overall seed in the tournament. Likely. That's kind of how it works in the first round. First game.
Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't.
Yeah,
it's like
sometimes it's location.
Sometimes last year, it's just getting Santa Clara and getting TCU here. It didn't necessarily feel like, I forget if they were the 3 or the 4 seed overall, but didn't necessarily feel like they got a 3rd or 4th seeded regional.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
really did. Hey, well, we got a break. So we're a little up against it here. We've got lots of room for calls and texts as we go throughout these next couple of hours on halftime. McClarty Daniel hotline will remain open, 877-377-6963. Cinco de Mayo's coming up. We just got into May. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Joe's Grill and Cantina starting Friday. Carries through Sunday. They are open on Sunday. Fun for the entire family with food, drink specials, margarita specials, endless enchiladas all day on Saturday, and Cinco de Mayo for family fun all weekend at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They'll even have the annual taco eating contest going on too. joesfortsmith.com for more information. They're right next to Harps in Fort Smith, ready to celebrate with you at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Stay with us. Clay Henry's on halftime with me and with Matt and the C Unit, and we're right back.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to Limbird.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is
paid for by Amendment 79.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster.
And in the past decade as a roofing contractor, he knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And literary pterodactyl galactico Clay Henry with us as well. Doesn't quite flow off the tongue yet, but I'll work on that. I thought of you yesterday, Clay, as I was about to do the lineups on the Dugout show, because Dave Van Horn and Norm DeBryan had bookended Keith Gutton behind home plate for a very small ceremony, just honoring Coach Gutton in the 42 years that he's been the head coach at Missouri State. And of course, these are the only two coaches that he's ever coached against when they've played against the Razorbacks. And it was interesting. Like, I just assumed that Keith Gutton is a fisherman, because the gifts that they gave him it looked like a couple of fishing poles. I don't know what specialty they were from or whatever, but I could tell they were fishing poles. And he looked pleased as he walked down the dugout stairs with his poles in his hand. And then he tells the media in the postgame that he's not even really that interested in fishing. So it's just kind of, I didn't expect that. I guess I just assume anybody that lives in Springfield, if you're near Bass Pro, then you must like fishing.
Well, there's a lot of good places to fish in that area, but it's you got to have time. It's about time and money. Fishing is. Do you have a boat? You can burn up a lot of hours trying to figure time on the water. But I think it's just a typical retirement gift. Golf clubs, fishing rods. It's symbolic that you're ready to spend time doing something that's good for the soul and not considered work.
Just can't. My favorite one was you remember Kareem, and he had his retirement tour. Was it the Celtics that gave him the giant rocking chair?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. You're giving somebody something that they might use in retirement. Golf clubs, fishing tackle,
a shotgun or something. Yeah.
A shotgun
for hunting,
and or a trip somewhere,
or a cane. Sometimes you get a cane. Somebody says
the rocking chair.
Yeah.
The rocking chair was just really funny because it was still, it was just a couple years after that he beat Dr. J in a one-on-one competition. Do you remember that when they did a one-on-one? It was big, promoted and everything, Dr. J versus Kareem, and that's not fair. That's not fair. Going up against somebody 7'1", even Dr. J, which I guess he must have been in his mid to late 40s at that point. There's not much you could have done with that.
I think you're right. It's not a fair match. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
So the latest commit for John Calipari, Johnell Davis, is the second highest rated player in the transfer portal, according to 24/7.
They still got to dodge the draft on him.
Well, yes, and Matt and I were kicking that around in the first segment. Brazil's in the portal now too, so this is the last day to get into the portal. You got to keep your options open. It makes sense. I haven't paid attention to the mock drafts or whatever where Davis may end up going, but guy that in the last 2 years upped his scoring average by over 12 points a game. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, everybody wants him. That's the key fact. And everybody wants him, and there's a long – this is now, let's see, there's been 7 visits since he became head coach and got his staff put together, and they've got 6 of them. 6 of them signed. Well, I guess he's committed, not signed. I wrote about hitthatline.com. There's a column up that I wrote yesterday after interviewing Jimmy Counts, Gail Goodrich, former Laker and UCLA star, is in the Hall of Fame, just like our new coach, in Nolan Richardson. I also interviewed Nolan Richardson for that piece, but there was so much. We talked for, forever and ever yesterday, so I'm going to save that for another column.
Okay. Well, he's obviously going, recruiting in a way where, I don't know, Kentucky fans just didn't expect that they would be going after, they'd be as successful in the transfer portal as he's been. It's just, to me, it shows somebody that's obviously understands the reality of college basketball now, and it just can't be through one and dones. I don't think he necessarily went out that way with Kentucky the last few years. They just ended up not winning in March.
So Nolan, which I'll write about, we talked a lot about NIL. But by the way, the one I didn't use the best quote from him in this column today, but he said that if he was in the NIL era as a player, and he, as Nolan Richardson, had to play for Nolan Richardson to coach, that he would leave because that coach was an asshole.
Do you think Norm DeBryan would say the same thing? I think
there's a Norm in the 70s and 80s, and then somewhere in the 90s, he softened a little bit. So it depends on which Norm. I mean, he was chasing guys with a fungo bat, in the early 80s. I know that because he told me he did. He never caught anybody. Somebody missed a class, he'd just chase after him with a fungo bat. They'd have to run. Now, but he wasn't like that, say his last 5-8 years. The guys that played for him then are like, talk to some of the older players. They're like, same guy? That Norm? And, I don't think he ever was soft, but he softened. Just put it that way.
I think you could say the same thing about Dave Van Horn. He's not soft at all, but I think
his teams are tough. Yeah.
Yes, his teams are tough, but even
Norm's teams were tough. Yeah.
And he still coaches with an edge and will communicate with an edge when it's game time and everything. But
with umpires, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that I've always felt there's a little bit of a misconception about what he's like because you just see what he can be like on the field, and any coach is going to be really intense.
Yeah, the clips afterwards, you find them on the baseball website, the Arkansas Baseball, on their Facebook page, where he's talking to his players afterwards. Those are really revealing, and you see, the smiles from the players and the interaction, and you realize these are his guys, and he has a good way of sorting them out to where when they get to the season, in this point in the season, they're his guys, and they play with the same edge that he coaches. I mean, Peyton Holt, he's got that edge, don't you think, Phil?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There's, I don't know what you would even call it. There's an answering the bell, je ne sais quoi, meeting the moment when your team needs it. There's just some players that come across like that, and they all kind of have the same attitude. There's always a positive energy around them, and Peyton's just like that.
Yeah, and I think there's some other guys like that. I think Helfrich's got that in him too. He's still trying to figure out how to hit a right-handed pitcher, but it's he's going to be a great player, and I think Dave realizes that and trying to bring him along without just throwing him out there every game. Of course, he's got other good catchers.
Yeah, there are. I mean, he's got 4 of them. And Helfrich has started the second most behind the plate. And he should be the guy next year. But he shows a lot. I mean, there's athleticism there with Ryder Helfrich. It's just maybe a little bit raw as far as hitting
that's
is
right.
concerned.
Yeah,
he's just raw.
Yeah. Well, I defer to you on anything baseball.
Oh, you don't need to be deferring to me on anything, except maybe taking it up into a commercial break, which we'll do here in just a moment. Remember to roll into the season with WT equipment. You're ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, even large commercial-grade hay equipment. If you buy now, save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back, or you get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Upgrade for weekend chores. Get consistent strength and efficiency for your daily grind with the machines you need and the deals you want at WT Equipment. Offers end June 30th. WT Equipment, your partner in progress. 877-377-6963 to get on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Stay with Halftime. We are back in just a few minutes.
This is Halftime.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Whether it's baseball season, basketball playoffs, or hockey playoffs, experience it live this spring with Vivid Seats. With one of the most reliable rewards programs in the business, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee. Plus, with Vivid Seats rewards you can earn with every ticket purchase, including surprise seat upgrades, birthday discounts, free tickets, and more. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is Halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock Roofing and Construction. As one of America's largest roofing companies, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. We can do your job right now. And because we paid less for our material, we can share those savings with you. Call today or visit us at shamrockroofer.com. Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in Conway and Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue Catfish and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's kind of funny. Last night doing the baseball game, Bubba's here in the booth. There's a mosquito flying around our booth, and he smashed it on the wall with a baseball bat. Right at the same time that I noticed that the D-backs Dodgers game was being delayed because a swarm of bees had taken over. They were a colony. I shouldn't call it a swarm because they weren't swarming. It was a colony that had all gathered together at the top of the net behind home plate and forced a 2-hour delay in the Dodgers D-backs game. And a beekeeper or a pest specialist, I don't know what
they said
profession
beekeeper.
is.
Yeah, I watched
he was a beekeeper. Yeah.
Yes.
They put Matt. They put him up on a riser, and this is in front of everything. They had evacuated the area behind home plate. Everybody else is staying in the stadium, and they watch him, stun the bees with a spray.
The queen, yeah.
Suck them up with a vacuum suck and take them away to a hero's welcome, and then the beekeeper threw out the ceremonial first pitch. This guy had no clue that he was going to be the hero to however many thousands of people were at Chase Field yesterday just to be able to play the game. And so I think this had happened before in some spring training games, but man, that would creep me out, especially in a radio booth that is located behind home plate, because bees make my skin crawl a little bit. The mosquitoes in the booth made my skin crawl just because I could almost feel them there when they weren't there. But if there's like 5,000 bees just all gathered together around home plate, man, I'm going to go to the football stadium. I don't need any of that.
One of the we've got this craze going over the river with the cicada hatch. Well, one of the things that the cicada, they crawl out of the ground, and the animal that we fear in our woods the most is a copperhead snake, venomous snake, and they get really active because they like the cicadas. So you need to, don't just go tromping around the woods looking for the cicada hatch. You just because you might be finding a real active copperhead. Copperhead and bees, similar. You don't like them. I don't like the wasps. The wasps scare me more than the bees.
Yeah, even the ones that are like the dirt daubers, the ones that I was always told by Greg, the field superintendent at the Travelers, that those aren't going to hurt you. They can't sting you. They just look like they're like, I don't care if you tell me they're going to sting me or not. They're look
wrong.
like they could pick me up and fly away with me.
They can sting you. They usually don't. But you can be working in the yard and you can get into a nest of them without realizing it. Because they do come out of the ground. But that's no fun at all. That's that sting. And if you get multiple stings where you get into a wad of them, it can be dangerous if you got some allergies, especially. I don't. And we had our dog, she got stung a few times. We had to take her to the vet because her mouth and throat was swelling. She had to get a shot. She was trying to eat them, which is a mistake.
Yeah, you don't want to go in that direction.
Yeah.
We always end up having some kind of wildlife going on at Balm. What was it, 2 years ago? Batting practice. I remember seeing a black snake in the in the hallway by the dugout, and Dave literally just picked the thing up with a shovel and dumped it into a ball bucket and dumped it into Norm's Lake, and that was that. I think that was the same year. What was the animal down the left field line that somehow was it a raccoon? It was a raccoon, right?
Raccoon.
Yeah, that had come into Balm Walker, and a gentleman just kind of picked it up, scruffed it, walked out with it, and got bitten and needed rabies shots.
Yeah, that was a bad deal. The thing about those black snakes, they get the mice and stuff. You want to take care of them. You just relocate them a little bit because they actually, I think a king snake will eat a copperhead, so that's your friend. Just got to know the difference, and it takes a little, you can do a little studying, online and really know the difference between snakes, wasps, and bees. Living in the woods, I got to do that. I should. Yeah.
We had that stupid possum in Baton Rouge 8 years ago that ran out and bared its teeth right in front of Carson Shaddy. I never hear about any of this stuff with basketball games or football games. There were protesters that glued their hands to the floor for basketball games a couple years ago. That's a different thing. But so I don't know. It's like baseball is usually the one that has the animal delay.
Yeah, those folks that glued their hands, they're just the same. They're like pests. You need to bring in an exterminator. That's my political statement for the day.
Let's take a phone call from Lane in Cave City, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Pardon me. Hey, Lane, how you doing?
I am doing good, Mr. Elson. How are you, sir?
Great. Thank you very much.
Well, so I've got a question, but I want to tell y'all a story. Y'all was talking about hornets and wasps and stuff. So me and my grandpa was putting square bales in our barn one time. And now listen, my grandpa's the type of man, old farmer, ain't scared of nothing. So I was in the barn throwing the hay in there, and I guess I got on top of a yellow jacket nest in the ground, and they went to coming out, and that's the fastest I've ever seen a 70-year-old man run. And he just left me there in the middle of them, and I thought, well, I'm glad I'm not allergic to them because he just left me there. But that's kind of my
They can be nasty.
Story.
Yep.
Yes, sir. But no, my question was, do we got any update on Molina, and was it Wagner that they wasn't sure what happened to him last night?
Yeah, it looked like a hamstring that he was trying to stretch out that might have been cramping on him or tightening. I mean, it didn't look like he could walk off the field bending that right knee. And I think it was the hamstring that was giving him issues. I don't know if I'd have to check with the athletic trainer about that and see what the situation is. But I would assume he would have been in the lineup today, just getting some at bats. Outside of that, was there another question about health? Molina. I know he threw a bullpen yesterday, and it went well. So he had to have a good bullpen yesterday in order to be ready for this next weekend. So they haven't announced the starting rotation for this next weekend, but I think you're going to get Molina back in there.
And you see him playing long toss with Hagen Smith before the game. I mean, that looked all right.
Yeah, that's important too. Yep. Because it's a deep bullpen, but I think it is that time of the year where now it's not like there's shackles on the starting pitchers, but I think you'll see Hagen Smith be allowed to throw a few more pitches, maybe, worth another inning or so. He threw 7 last time out. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets something like 110 to 115 pitches to use. And Tiger, getting him to 100 sometimes. I'm not sure if he's thrown 100 before, but I'd like to see him get there because I think you could get 7 to 8 out of Hagen. Hey, you could get 9 out of him, truthfully. I don't think there's much that's holding him back other than just being cautious, which makes sense with somebody who's going to be
He's a millionaire
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tigert, like, I think he could get through 6 to 7 innings. I'm interested to watch him try for 7 innings, hopefully Saturday against Kentucky. And then, with Molina, hopefully he's able to get back throwing strikes, because the ankle injury had nothing to do with the 7 walks in his start against South Carolina. So he's got to get back to throwing strikes, and when he does, he's hard to hit because he's got his fastball stays up, he's got a good changeup. So he just needs a second pitch that he feels comfortable with. I think at Carolina, all he felt really comfortable with was the changeup. So I think he'll be back to the regular rotation.
I thought he got squeezed a little bit at Carolina, and that can happen. The umpires seem to go with the flow a lot. A guy misses a little bit, and then he just kind of tightens down his strike zone. And it looked like to me, Molina throws high strikes because he pitches up in the zone with that fastball, and that belt high fastball was just not getting called in that game, and that frustrated him. It looked like it would frustrate me. And that's the pitch that's been called strikes, and guys are swinging at it all at once. Carolina's like, well, we're not swinging at that, and put some guys on. But you're right, that performance didn't have anything to do with an ankle injury. That happened in midweek.
Yeah, he's a lot better than that. That's the worst start for any Arkansas starter this year, and I think he has shown leading up to that he's a lot better than what he had showed in that ball game.
I'll go to war with him. Yep, he's good.
Yeah, look, you're in a place where you should be getting 18 innings, at least 18 innings out of your starting pitchers each weekend. I really do think that you're at that place, and I can't really ever think I've said that before at Arkansas or even with most college teams.
Phil, you may have alluded to this, but I thought because they didn't have Molina, and then they doubled up on Saturday, and they could have played Sunday. It didn't rain.
Yeah.
The forecast was horrible, and I get why they did that. You don't want to lose games, and but they didn't. Because they didn't have Molina, and they played 2 games on Saturday, and they'd used Gackle on Friday night. You probably could have brought Gackle back on Sunday. So you really, not having Molina and not having Gackle because it's back-to-back days, I think that affected them a little bit because that's 2 of your best 5 pitchers probably.
Oh, you were you definitely you lost innings from guys that you usually would have had that weren't available for the last game because they pitched Friday or even pitched earlier in the Saturday. Yeah, there's no doubt. Hopefully we don't have a doubleheader this next weekend. I think the weather might be Friday, Saturday, but I haven't checked it today, and that might be more out of superstition, although I'm trying not to be too superstitious. We do need a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state.
Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Cinco de Mayo is here, and Joe's Grill and Cantina is ready to celebrate. The fun begins Friday and goes through Sunday. That's right, Joe's will be open on Sunday for the celebrations. Fun for the entire family. Endless enchiladas all day on Saturday. Margaritas and food specials going on all weekend. Live music, and don't forget the annual taco eating contest. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo at Joe's Grill and Cantina, across from Harps off South 74th Street in Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Raise your glass, move your feet. Are you dead or asleep? Talking heads on the screen keeps you stuck in the stream where the rat race is rigged and the president's picked by the Vegas fled. All the money you spent and I said,
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Wrapping up hour number 2 of Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Still looking through some the people have stories about getting stung by bees and problems of where this can start from. Joe and Van Buren puts in a situation here that just, I don't know if I ever need to have a drink out of a soda can ever again. And I've thought about this before, but he says people get stung in the mouth in the middle of summer because a bee crawls inside their soda can and nobody takes a look. So we used to have in camp growing up, I went to a day camp as a kid and spent all the time outside, and we would drink bug juice. That's what it was called, bug juice. It's really just Kool-Aid of some sort, just under a different name. And yeah, that stuff would attract bees all over the place. And I did kind of look in the cup every time before I took a sip, but you can see that. It's like when it gets into if it gets into your soda can, I don't think I'm going to be drinking it out of any soda cans anytime soon.
So you can buy your soda with a screw top and screw it back after you've had a sip.
That's
kind of like you're doing with your coffee this morning, right?
That'll work for me, except I don't need to dilute the soda. I'm just.
Is that what you're having to do?
I didn't realize that this stuff that I bought called Stoke is like a coffee concentrate,
It's extra strong. Yeah.
Matt informed me that I was, my heart would explode if I was going to drink this whole thing. Now I love caffeine. I love coffee and everything is just. I didn't realize what I'd purchased. So
It just depends on it just depends on what you want. If you want to sip on a venti, if you want to sip on 20 ounces of coffee, that's not the coffee for you. But if you just want a quick 4-ounce shot, that's all you need on that stuff. Yeah.
You do the whole, the whole gallon or whatever it is. Is it quart, gallon? What is it? 16
this
ounces?
Is
48.
This is 48 ounces.
Okay.
A quart and a
Well,
half.
you could do that a couple of days in a row. Your eyelids will start to flutter.
Just a shot, huh? So I think I've drunk about a quarter of this whole thing. Maybe I should put it away for the rest of the day.
Feels fine.
Calls and texts on the McClure. I still have to be awake, for a broadcast that starts at 3:30, and make it back to the hotel at some point. Not with my eyes closed. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We'll check the headlines in a moment and be right back.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Bo Tommy. Visit medley.com or come see us at 2150 Ford Avenue, Springdale, Arkansas.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
At Gray Brothers Equipment, it's Kubota Orange Days with 0 down, 0% financing available for 84 months on Kubota's popular L2502, L3302, and L3902 tractors. Get into Gray Brothers and make your best deal on a new Kubota tractor today. Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Bodo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increasing chance of some showers and thunderstorms across the north, staying dry and sunny further south. A high today, low to mid 80s. Partly cloudy sky tonight, an overnight low into the low to mid 60s. And then another chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday, highs in the 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Smith, I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
It's halftime into our third hour here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones, the one and only Clay Henry, writer emeritus at hitthatline.com, joining us. Emeritus. That's always a term of respect. Nobody ever says emeritus with a
is kind of like you're not
term.
doing it anymore.
That's true. It's like you're the reserve
But,
writer.
maybe
Yeah,
that's
that wouldn't
me.
be the right way. Wouldn't be the right
Once
way
a
to go
week.
at it then.
Once a week, yeah. I've got about the next 4 lined out. That's always a good feeling.
Well,
You
this
can change your
last
mind.
one, this last column that you wrote looks like it was a lot of fun to write because
Oh.
of the people that you spoke to, with Gail Goodrich and Jim Counts, talking about Cal's recruiting at Arkansas and
Yeah.
elsewhere.
And Goodrich is a friend through Ryan Way from Rogers, a retired banker that played at USC at the same time Goodrich did at UCLA, and they hung out together playing summer pickup and became lifelong friends. And he kind of alerted me. I did an interview with Gail maybe 3 years ago during COVID. Everybody's looking for something to write. Ron helped hook me up with Gail on the phone for a couple of hours. I mean, just think about getting to talk to Gail Goodrich. And I was a high school basketball player watching him star at UCLA and the Lakers, and just like fascinated with, he's not real big, kind of short. They called him Stubby. And watch him dominate games. NCAA, he was on John Wooden's first 2 championship teams at UCLA, so he means a lot to that program to get them going. But anyway, Ryan told me, he says he's a big Calipari guy and hung out with him in some clinics and really would enjoy talking about him. So I called him and we talked. And he's predicted exactly what's happened. He's going to recruit top end players. Jimmy, of course, played and coached for Eddie Sutton and admires Coach Cal and his ability to coach, not just recruit. I'll take it from Jim. He knows more basketball than most of us, put it that way. But yeah, you're right. Talking to A-list basketball minds and then talking to Nolan yesterday, so much fun. So that's why I'm still doing it, because those kind of conversations are fun, Phil, Matt.
Of course, you can read Clay every week now at hitthatline.com. We got Mike in Springdale on the McClarty Daniel hotline here, so let's talk with Mike. Mike, I don't know what voice I'm listening to right there, but it doesn't sound like somebody whose name is Mike. Let's try that one more time. Mike in Springdale. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hi, sir.
Hey, what's going on? You're on the air.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about soccer. When Clay's brother Butch and I, the 1989 basketball team, was fortunate enough to go to Rio during soccer season, play some basketball games.
Coach Sutton got tossed from the game, and Butch and Red McDonald had to coach, right?
That's not what was really fun about it, was watching these crazy people get ready for soccer games. We didn't get to go to the game. We got to go to the stadium and tour it before the game because they didn't want us to be there because they were concerned about our well-being. But just watching the streets, you had to be off the streets before the games because they were playing a team from Sao Paulo in Rio, and they were coming through in trucks, throwing beer bottles and everything out of the trucks, and everybody had a flag, and they were just going crazy. It was a crazy mess at that time, and it's something else. We went back to our hotel and watched the game on TV, and soccer, they take it really serious down there. I've seen a lot of football games here, but I've never seen them take anything as serious as a soccer game.
Maybe a little overly serious if we're throwing bottles. Like as much of football and everything in the SEC just means more. I don't know if we've ever. There probably something like that happened before. What was this game that Coach Sutton was ejected from, Clay?
Well, it was summer exhibition tour that they made, and so Gene Cady and Pat Foster didn't make the trip. They stayed home and recruited. My brother's SID, and Arkansas had a big league on a club team from Brazil, and Coach Sutton got tossed with about 5 minutes to go, 10 minutes, and so the bench support team were an SID and a trainer, and I think there was a timeout called with a few minutes to go, and Sidney came to the sideline and looked at Butch and says, "Don't, coach. We got this. We'll finish this one out. Don't worry." I think that's how that went, according to my brother. So,
Mike, does that bring back any memories for you? It sounds like you were there. I mean, you were on this trip.
Alan Zahn was on the team, and the only instructions at that time out, I believe, Clay, was that Alan Zahn was told not to foul.
Don't foul.
And the first thing he did when the game started again,
he fouled.
He fouled. And so
the game was won.
Nobody,
Mike, good to hear from.
Very good teams in. They had one guy named Oscar or something that turned out to be a great player. And Coach Sutton, when we got back, told, I believe, Coach Foster and Coach Cady said, we need to recruit that guy. Well, he was on some national team, and you weren't going to get him out of Brazil. They were going to let him go because he was the best player in the country, but he was good.
I remember him. Yeah, he did play in the Olympics.
Mike, good to hear from you, man. Thank you very much. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. That sounds like what you would see in Europe, Matt.
Sounds like my recruiting. Sounds like my recruiting visit to OU when I saw Nebraska play Oklahoma, and all the fans from all the OU fans are throwing beer bottles at the Nebraska team bus. I mean, it's got a college atmosphere to it. It really does.
You can see that.
What did that make you think
yeah.
when? What did that make you think when you're sitting there watching this and it's like
17-year-old me?
Part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild, man. It's intense.
Dave Jordan tells stories about coaching in South America, maybe Mexico, in the winter leagues and the stuff that was thrown out on field. And of course they had screens up, and you think that's protect from foul ball. Now that's keep from fans from throwing stuff on the field.
Like an old-fashioned country western bar. What's the one named from the Blues
Dalton?
Brothers?
Oh. Roadhouse?
Exactly the
The
same
Double
idea.
Dukes.
Yeah, just something to throw bottles. They're going to throw the bottles. Why are we going to have to stop them? Don't tell them. Don't sell cans. Sell the bottles. This is part of the attraction.
Yeah, and and don't tell them not to throw them, because that's an invitation to throw them. You tell them you can throw them, and then they won't.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much right about that. I've not seen now. People are texting in about, well, somebody's thrown batteries at ball players. Brandon Ness, if you threw a bottle or two to gain some clout, with a little LOL at the end of that, sure.
So,
but this sounds like I mean, mobs of people that are.
So
that are
high school basketball, one of the things that I've seen done, and it didn't happen to me, but it happened to some of my teammates at Little Rock Central, and we played road games, and you don't have any home fans, and you're sitting on bleachers, the first row of the bleachers, so there's fans right behind you, and they light pennies and stick them to the back of your calf. Hot penny, stick it on your calf.
Oh.
That's like getting stung by a yellow jacket.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna leave quite a mark on you.
Yeah,
quite a mark on you. Have you guys seen any of this back and forth? Maybe you don't, because you need to be on Twitter in order to see this. So there's an article that's come out in The Athletic that has followed all of the players that left Colorado football, the year that Dion took over. And I think they might have had one or two players left that actually played in the first year, but by the time spring ball was over, most everybody had already transferred out. They follow everybody through. And from this article, and obviously some of these players are on, all of them are on social media, and so there's a little back and forth about it. And I think there was a kid that had been in the quarterback room that transferred out, and Shador Sanders answers on Twitter that he doesn't even remember this kid, that he must have been so mid, and it's just led to a lot of ugly back and forth. Apparently with Dion and either players of the former parents or the former players, and it's just it's not there's a lot of people that were rooting for Dion last year, and it feels to me like Matt, I think the conversation may change a little bit here, and it's understood. Like it was not a good football team when he took over. That's understood. You understand that you're going to make changes, and that's probably necessary. But I think it was the lack of feeling like they were being treated well, or at least treated properly in the context that a lot of them, they knew they were going to leave, but it felt like they were being kicked out, like literally kicked out in that sense.
I think Dion has a lot of that Jimmy Johnson, Houston Nutt in him, where if you're playmakers, man, there's a different set of rules for. I mean, everybody comes on the same set of rules. I'm not saying that there's one set of rules, but when you make plays, you're treated a little differently than until you make a play.
There was some of that went on here with Chad Morris, and it wasn't so much that the older players got run off. They might have felt like they didn't have the same chance that, they were going to go with the youth movement, and it created, some discord in the locker room, and there were some other things that Chad Morris did that, for instance, there was like a 2-story mural you walk into the Smith building on the wall, which is the lobby's kind of like 2 stories. And the whole wall on one side was a picture of Chad Morris with Deshaun Watson at Clemson. And they're in Clemson gear. And there's a lot of Razorbacks you could have put up life-size like that. I don't think, the players like that. But that can happen in a coaching change. Things get sideways really quick, old versus new. And when you run off 40, 50, there's going to be some discord in there.
I feel you, because I thought it was weird. They kept showing Coach Calipari's Kentucky guys at the press conference. We didn't see any of the Anthony Black. We didn't see Nick Smith. You didn't see Ricky. I mean, the guys that were just here the last couple of years that were first round draft picks. And I get it, but it's like, man, this is the University of Arkansas. I don't need a picture of some Clemson quarterback on the thing.
No, it didn't help at all. And I think Kamani Johnson was there. That's probably the most recent player of note. In fact, he got a big ovation when he was announced by Chuck. But it's but you had guys like Joe Klein that's played for him. That you had that given. That back and forth. It was pretty cool. In talking to Jimmy Counts, all the former players, they're on board. They like this, and I listened to Jimmy, and he's in the community. He's a noted surgeon, and he's active in a lot of different places, and he's like, he hadn't heard one person that was not for this. I think former players know what's going on, and that this is a good hire.
877-377-6963. If you have any thoughts to get with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline, there'll be more halftime right after this quick break.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com. Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and HitThatLine.com.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Regardless of one's age, there's a living heritage, experiences, and memories to share. Show how much you care by remembering elderly family members, friends, or neighbors by helping with chores, shopping, or a simple visit. Learn about life from the most experienced people in the world and make a difference in their everyday lives. This message is courtesy of our good friends at Paris Health and Rehab, 1414 South Elm Street in Paris, Arkansas. Contact Administrator Sarah for a tour today. She and her staff care about our seniors.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Take a look around the room. It all comes wearing disguises. How to go about shoes. Break it down by shapes and sizes. I'm a man who's got very specific taste.
Welcome back to Halftime with Bill Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Bill Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All right, we got a baseball game at 4 o'clock, Arkansas versus Missouri State, so I'm going to have my head in that pretty much once the show ends today. I know there's Champions League, NBA playoffs. Matt, which games do you have your eyes on tonight for the NBA?
Yeah, you got the Celtics have a chance to close it out. It's a war of attrition a little bit. You're seeing these teams get banged up, and so you're trying to see how your depth is, and the rotations get whittled down. There's no we all know that. Then you have the other series, Dallas and LA. I don't know, Phil, if I'll be up, if I'll be up for the whole game. But man, you got star power. Do you play Kawhi Leonard? They're 2-0 without playing Kawhi in this series, and they've lost to, he's banged up with the knee injury. So two great series. I think the Celtics close it out at home, and I think that Dallas Clippers series goes 7.
How about the Bucks rising up yesterday against Indiana?
It's two teams that aren't gonna. It's two teams that aren't gonna win the championship. Like when you think about it, and it's like Dallas and Clippers. Bill, neither one of those teams are going to win the NBA title this year. But man, it's such a good series. The Pacers and the Bucks so close to each other. They have Miles Turner. I remember this kid at Texas, and it's weird to say he's kid. He's 7'2", 300 pounds. Dude shooting 3-pointers. I mean, just how he's changed his games. Like we talk about, one of the things in NBA is if you can't shoot it, it's hard to find yourself out there on the floor. And he was a back to your basket guy. Him and Brook Lopez 2 games ago both had over 5 3-points made. It's just like what's going on? But Chris Middleton stepped up. He can do it from time to time. But without Dame Lillard and Giannis, Phil, there's no way that the Bucks are going to do much else.
It's funny you say that, Matt, because I'm listening to, people kind of in the weeds a little bit, may know something, may not, talking about Jonas Adu leaving Tennessee, which, he seemed, tough physical player, seemed like he was perfect for Rick Barnes. They didn't have any idea that he might be going in the portal. Had a great regular season, maybe not a great postseason, but he wants to get out on the floor and shoot a little bit. Thinks he can, and that's what Coach Cal has done before with their big man and got him ready for the NBA. And if you're 6'10", 6'11" guy and you can make a three, your value just changes with the league.
Well, and it's all about spacing, Clay. You're right on. I mean, Miles Turner was 7-9, and Brook Lopez is 3 of 5. So what you're doing by being a 7-footer that can shoot, you're bringing that other 7-footer out there that has to guard you, and then the guard.
Clear the lane.
Yep, the lane's wide open for them to penetrate, and all you're asking them to do, Clay, is hit wide open shots. You're not asking them to come off screens or take true dribbles and pull up. It's just space the floor, be able to take your man out with you.
Bobby Portis.
Bobby's the G, man. Bobby's had that shot since high school.
Yeah.
Where it's more natural to him. Where I think Miles Turner and Brook Lopez have really had to work at it.
They can, and Adu, he showed some flashes last year, being able to move away from the basket a little bit. You want him to be, a threat where they don't play that 3-man zone with your big man. When he moves out on the perimeter, somebody's got to go.
And it's still nice to have a big that you can throw it into and say, "Go to work, big fella."
Bobby did that.
Bobby
he
can.
did that last night.
I'm a Bobby Portis fan.
Hey, you guys don't mind me. I just have my binoculars trained in on a bullpen session in right field right now. I can watch that. I'm happy watching that because I saw Brady Tiger throwing. Molina's throwing too. So, and there's no problem with his push off.
Yeah.
So
good.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine.
He wants to get back out there. Those guys just. And you could tell Wagner that killed him because he hasn't got a lot of at bats, and to leave the game, he did not want to. And finally, Van Horn's like, "Okay, we've seen enough."
Oh, he had to keep waving him. Come on over. Come on
it's
over.
Okay.
This isn't. Yeah. It's not going to loosen up.
Yeah, and we don't want to risk you. You can pull a hamstring, and you could be done for the season with how little is left. And I felt sorry for the pitchers, like. Oh, now I got Ben McLaughlin. Now no harm.
And they struck him out.
Yeah,
well, that was also a moment where the strikeout.
Just one
McLaughlin
strike.
comes up, sees one pitch, he strikes out, but the strikeout goes on Wagner's record.
It does, yeah.
Because the count was 0-2. Hey, I wanted to bring something up. I just saw where Kentucky got the commit of Kobe. I don't know if I'm saying his name properly. Brea, Brea, shooting guard from the Dayton Flyers. 11 points a game, shot almost 50% from the three-point line last year. But this comes the same day that Johnell Davis publicly commits to the Razorbacks. And it just feels to me, at least for the last couple of commits for both teams, that Kentucky is trailing Arkansas. The Razorbacks getting the player first that both teams are going after, and then Kentucky, I don't know, we could say the word settle for somebody else.
Well, it's either or.
They get Jonas Adu, and then the next day Garrison commits to Kentucky. They play the same position. They're not going to be on the same team. Today, or yesterday, late last night, but official today, Johnell Davis commits to Arkansas, and Kentucky, Kentucky was going after him too. Kentucky gets Kobe Brea. So it feels like Kentucky's the reactive school in this case, and Arkansas is the one that's kind of signing the player that both teams are going after first.
Yeah, I've seen some give and take or back and forth between Arkansas and Kentucky fans and Arkansas media and Kentucky media. And I don't want to dismiss Kentucky and Mark Pope quickly. I think he is a good coach, and I saw some of his games at BYU. He really can coach offense, and I think he'll probably be successful. Kentucky is going to pour resources in. They're not going to back away from basketball. They'll pour it on if they think that's what's needed. And they poured it on when it wasn't legal. So I know that they can do it when it's legal. And Mark Pope will get the resources from his AD because that when he's under the gun too. Did he hire the right guy? Did he hire somebody that's equivalent to what they lost? Probably not. But he will have resources and they'll have players, and Rupp Arena still be Rupp Arena, be a tough place to go.
Take a phone call from Larry in Pea Ridge, and then we'll hit the break. Larry's on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hey, Larry, what's going on?
Hey, I haven't called in these shows in years. I used to call in whenever Chuck and Dudley and Clay were on the afternoon show and Bo.
I remember that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bella Vista Larry. They called me. Yeah.
We called you other things too.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Crazy old man back in those days.
I'm joking.
But hey, I put my professional basketball knowledge up against anybody because I'm old and I had a heart attack 13 years ago, and I watched pro basketball religiously. Have any of y'all watched old Austin Reeves play for the Lakers? He's the best Razorback we never got.
Well, Malik Monk's pretty good too. But yes, Austin Reeves, his hesitation, the way he can kind of it's a puppet on a string that basketball is in his hand. He is fun to watch, no question about it.
Yeah, there's some others, Keith Lee, Michael Cage. There's some others from Arkansas. And if you really want to test your NBA knowledge, you'll know about Deshae Central and all of those guys that went to Albany State. Caldwell Jones and his brothers. That's a bunch of them that they didn't get.
Larry, if you're a guy who watches a lot of NBA, who's going to win? Give me a winner out of the East, a winner out of the West, and an NBA champion.
The Celtics, if they quit messing around, I don't know if they can turn it on or not. And Minnesota or Denver, and we're going to find out that in the next series. I tell you, Denver's hard to beat. That Murray kid, he can. They got so many guys that can just get a bucket, and that's what matters in basketball. If you got somebody that can get a bucket, well, that's what matters.
Yeah, they've got the big guy that can get a bucket, the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's probably the best overall big guy who ever played the game, and one of the top 10 players. I mean, he's Magic Johnson in a 7'2", 350-pound body.
The vision in the passing reminds me of Larry Bird. He's different than Larry Bird, but he can. I mean, he sees the floor. He knows who's behind him, and he can flip it and get it. Hands are so strong. I mean, he gets his hands on the ball, it's his.
Clay, do you remember the King Cotton when it first started down at Pine Bluff?
Oh, it was now
I
Dudley.
lived there at
Dudley would be the
Whitehall.
guy because he went to every one of those, I think, in the early years. But yeah, it was. They had the who's who coming in there to play in games. Yep.
No, I think it was the second year they televised it on ESPN, and Dick Vitale and the guy that started out with him years ago, he's dead now. But they were down there calling it, and then it was tape delayed on ESPN. And
those are fun times.
Yeah, my boys were young, and we'd go to the King Cotton. It was a happening back in those days.
Very good to hear from you, ma'am. I appreciate you very much.
Yep, that was a high school holiday tournament.
6963. See, where I grew up, and I'd seen John Calipari referred to this in the Pittsburgh paper when Kentucky was there for the NCAA tournament. The high school showcase, and this went nationwide too, was the Dapper Dan.
I knew that's where you're going. I couldn't remember where that was, but that all falls in place in my mind now.
Yeah, Dapper Dan took place in Pittsburgh. I don't think they've done it for a long time.
Yeah,
it was a big deal. Heck, I remember Kobe Bryant playing in that game at the Civic Arena when he was. That was the year he came out, and it's like, okay, we know about this kid now. Yeah, we know about this kid now.
Yeah,
hey, if you want to put a little money on NBA playoffs, anything going on in the world of sports with a full slate of major league games, there's a few college baseball games today. Big weekend coming up, though, of course, with NBA playoffs. There's MMA. You got European soccer with the Champions League and NHL playoffs as well, plus Arkansas and Kentucky on the baseball diamond. You can put a little money on all of that on your Bet Saracen app when you're inside the state of Arkansas, and you want to put a little money on your favorite sporting event. Bet Saracen works on your Apple iPhone. Just download from the App Store, Google Play for the Android users, and any web browser, betsaracen.com. We're in the home stretch of halftime. Back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Join us in celebrating Burton Pools & Spa's 46th anniversary. Get incredible deals on in-ground pools with savings up to $12,000 and construction starting in May. Snag up to $1,200 off Doughboy above-ground pools and $5,000 off Doughboy semi-in-ground pools. And hot tubs start at an unbelievable price of just $39.99. Celebrate with us and pocket huge savings at Burton Pools & Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith. At Burton, we do more than build pools. We build long-term relationships.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. "Woo! Pig suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza."
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pig suey!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pig suey!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
I listen to the radio. They keep smoking. Today to yesterday, they say that all's better. It's better.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
See that, and I didn't realize that there is a Teammate of the Year award in the NBA. That's, you got your MVP, you've got your Sixth Man of the Year, you got a Defensive Player of the Year, and there's a Teammate of the Year. I always wondered, this has to be different than, I don't know if you guys know about it, but the Lady Byng Trophy, which is given out in the NHL to the most sportsman-like player in the league, which, I don't know, sometimes you feel like that might go to the player with the fewest penalty minutes. But Teammate of the Year, Mike Conley wins this too, from Minnesota. So little bit of a local connection as far as that's concerned. When you win a Teammate of the Year, you're not the most valuable player. You're not a guy necessarily that, I guess in this case, might come off the bench. What does that mean to you to be the Teammate of the Year?
I think you're talking about locker room and a role and leadership. It's interesting talking to Nolan yesterday when Mike Conley Jr. He grew up with with his kids. Just like a grandson to Nolan. Mike Sr. and Nolan shared a property. Their farms were together. Nolan bought it from Mike when he moved to Indianapolis, but when Mike Jr. returns to Fayetteville, he calls Nolan to go play golf. He would have played for Arkansas, Mike Conley Jr. You probably would have had Greg Oden. You would have had, both Sullinger boys. You'd have had Andre Iguodala, who, signed and was given a release when Nolan was fired. He said that was probably going to be his most athletic team, that group of players over, say, a 3-year period. Then you also throw in Pookie Monica, and then Ronnie Brewer would have come along right after that. No doubt would have signed with Arkansas, played with with Conley. It's you never know what ifs, but that would have. I knew that he was about to have another run.
And they've added a lot of awards in the NBA now.
Yeah.
There's been a most improved player for a long time. That's been a thing in most of the sports for a long time. Sixth man of the year been a long time. Clutch player of the year.
Yeah, that's a great family, the Conleys, by the way. That is a great, you're talking about Steve and Mike, the brothers, and then Mike Jr. They're just great athletes, great players.
Stephon Curry is the clutch player of the year. And there's a hustle award that they're giving out, which reminds me of, that's the only award I ever won when I played basketball for the JCC team growing up. I didn't have much basketball talent, but I could run as hard as I possibly could, and I could take a charge or two, and might rebound a little bit. So I guess
for loose balls.
I got the hustle award for that.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, you clean up the dirtiest uniform on the baseball field, right? Would get you the hustle award. But I mean, that's the kind. Some guys are just.
Were you a
kind of
dirtbag?
Specialize in some of these things? Well, I guess for baseball, yeah, I would have been a bit of a dirtbag, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was a catcher too, so I was
That's
always.
not a bad. That's not a bad. If you're a dirtbag, that's a good thing. In baseball, right? I mean, the dirtbags are always they're the guys that, that have the dirtiest uniforms and like whatever, kind of a Peyton Holt type guy. Wouldn't you say
true.
Peyton's a dirtbag?
Yes. Yeah, he definitely is. He usually is one of the dirtier uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, he would be the dirtbag that you'd say that's in a positive way. Looks like they might have the fastest throw in the history of baseball yesterday from Ellie De La Cruz, shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds, 107 miles an hour, and it was on a throwing error. I saw the play, picks the ball up, and it's just a routine ground ball. He takes his time in order to throw it as hard as he possibly can, and he threw it. It's not that it was such a wild throw. It's that I think his first baseman couldn't catch it. It's 107 miles an hour from short, and it wasn't even a deep throw from shortstop. It was kind of a closer throw from up on the grass, and I just think to myself a few things. One, how difficult that would be to catch, even for a first baseman who's used to catching in every sort of angle, and how much that would hurt if you actually do catch it, because the catcher's mitt is padded. I mean, the catcher's mitt is designed. You're going to hurt a little bit, but I mean, it's designed, and there's all sorts of things you can put on the glove. A first baseman can put that sort of stuff in the glove too, but there's a reason why that glove is bigger and has less padding, because you just have to. You got to catch it in so many different ways, and you want a bigger mitt. And I just imagine if you catch 107 miles an hour in the first baseman's mitt, I'd be screaming in pain at the top of my lungs, but he didn't even catch it, so it was an E. The fastest throw in baseball history was an error. It'd be like the fastest pitch that was ever thrown being, hitting the ball or something.
I've seen shortstops, they had the arm and they wanted to show it off. And, they take that grounder, it's a hard shot and you got a lot of time. Take the ball out of the glove and look at the ball, turn it around a little bit, and then throw it, and show off their arm. That guy did. That's about what he did in that 107. I think, Phil, we've got to put some parameters on this miles per hour stuff. And Dave Jorn explained to me, the miles per hour is much higher on the guns now than they used to be because the guns in the past, they measured miles per hour when the ball got to home plate. And now they're measuring it when it comes out of, they can read it as soon as it comes out of his hand. What slows down? Mm-hmm. So we don't know what Bob Gibson's fastball would be in today's game with the modern guns. I mean, it might be 97, 98. They were saying it was 92, 93 in the day. But you can just about add 5 miles per hour for everything that you heard miles per hour in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Radar gun is been updated.
That's true, but I do think that bigger, faster,
Arms are
stronger as humanity gets older, and I think you can definitely make the case that pitchers now on a whole throw faster than they did then. It's like I wonder what Walter Johnson threw, known as the big train. He might have the best fastball of his time.
Might have it. Everybody said he did. Yeah.
Might have maybe threw like 88 88 miles, but back then that meant something, and they couldn't measure it then. I think I saw the first time anyone tried to measure a pitcher's fastball like that, it was Bob Feller, and Feller was throwing against a motorcycle that was like the speeding it at 100 miles an hour, and the video that I've seen is like is Feller has to time the throw for when the motorcycle is passing him. So you're hoping that he throws it at the same time that the motorcycle would be where his arm lets go of the ball, and then what gets to the plate first. I think Feller was throwing through like a piece of paper, so you could tell when it broke through some sort of a threshold. That's what they were doing in the 50s to try to figure out how hard Bob Feller threw, who was probably at that point the most famous fastball of his time. Now we're talking about the guy lets go of the ball and it's thrown fast because gravity's going to slow it down. It's just getting slower as it comes to the plate. So that makes a lot of sense.
Well,
and you're still pitching to so many players, so many guys. It's like we're looking at the radar gun, ooh and ah, and all of that. But I also will say that does make you wonder about if there's something wrong with a pitcher at times. We thought about that yesterday watching Christian Fauch. So he comes out to throw an inning, and Saturday, he threw 6 pitches that were over 100 miles an hour on the gun here, and then. Like he was throwing about 93, 94 yesterday. But something looks wrong. Is something wrong? And then he throws 97, 98. And we're like, well, maybe he was just holding back a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. And we all know those guns, they have to regulate them every once in a while. They get a little, and you hear Dave say, well, our gun, our TrackMan was different than that one. That one's faster than this one's slow. And it changes back and forth. I do know that when you watched teams play against Bob Gibson and he threw it at their heads and how quickly they got down and said that that they had an instant to make up their mind. He threw hard.
Let's take a phone call from
threw with
Pinto.
intent. Yeah.
Pinto's on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Pinto. Thanks for calling. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm good, thank you. I got a Mike Conley Sr. story to tell you. This is back in the early 90s, and he was living out on Mount Comfort, Clay. You know where he lived.
That's
out there.
next to Nolan, yes.
Well, Nolan lived at the end of Nolan's ranch is in a different place.
Well, Mike Connolly, they shared a property for many years. It might have been that Mike moved, there, but they.
Of course, Mike was doing all the overseas traveling.
Yep.
And for track. And he got into raising dogs, the Dobermans and the German Shepherds, and he would import them from Germany. I had the Moses, the original Fayetteville police dog. I had one of his granddaughters, and she was about 2 years old. And I was delivering the old UPS out there to Mike all the time. And I said, Mike, you think maybe I could have my dog bred? And I told him about her bloodline, and he was kind of interested in that. So I took her out there, and she got bred with another German Shepherd. And as I was delivering a couple of days later, I was asked, he had a girl that ran his office. I said, hey, where's my dog? And she said, which one's yours? And I said, that German Shepherd that I brought out here to be bred. And she looked at me, and she got her eyes big as saucers, and she said, oh, no. I sold that dog to a guy that came from Mississippi to buy a dog from Mike. And I was like, dude, what? This guy came up, and he sees – now, my dog's 2 years old, and the one he was buying was supposed to be 6 months. And he sees my dog, and he goes – he calls his wife, and he says, honey, I think this dog's a little older than 6 months. And she says, well, go ahead and get it anyway. And so my dog was loaded up in a truck and headed down Interstate 40 back to Mississippi.
And not impregnant.
Huh?
Impregnant.
And pregnant, yes.
Pinto, I got to leave it there. We're right up against the break. We're going to wrap up the show in just a moment on halftime.
This is halftime.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Get ready to call the Hogs in 2024 and be there for the best home schedule in program history. Don't miss out on all you love about football game days on the Hill. Every voice matters, and we need Razorback Stadium rocking all season long from marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, the Texas Longhorns. For more information about Razorback football tickets, visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's hard. It was over. But when we got there.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, I felt bad because I had to cut Pinto off because if we went any longer with the story, we would have had to play 2 breaks back to back, and that would have been the end of the show. But he did text in the remainder of the story about his dog. He was able to ask, how much did the dog sell for? The woman said $1,500. He said he can have her, but Mike Conley had called the state police. They pulled the guy over on I-40, told him what had happened, and sent him back to Fayetteville with the dog. So at the end of all of
and the
that,
future puppies. Yeah.
yep, out of all of that, Pinto got the dog back. So and people texted in, hey, they got to know what happened with the dog. Got to know what happened with the dog. Well, that's what happened with the dog. He did get it back.
Yeah.
So thank you, Pinto, for the story and for sending in the rest of the story on the text line.
Yeah. Mike sold a lot of high-dollar Dobermans. I'm aware of that. Nolan had one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe more than one.
Matt, hope you enjoyed the your day of playoffs, man. I mean, that's kind of what I look at the Champions League as, playoffs with what you got going in the NBA, and you getting out on the links.
Woo.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yes, sir.
Feels-
Getting out on the links, watch a little playoff. Life's good, guys. It was fun working with you fellas today.
Yeah, we'll be 3:30 airtime for baseball, 4 o'clock first pitch. I know that Ben Bybee will be the starting pitcher for Arkansas. Hunter Day pitching for Missouri State, and it is not as much fun as the two pitchers. They were the starters yesterday, which I think
I'll
some
wait
folks had
from
just
you
a little
from-
bit of fun with.
From down with Hog Noxious today. I'll wait for you
Yeah.
up in the box.
Yeah, good for you for actually agreeing
I'll
to
come
do
see
this.
you.
And good
I'll
for
come see you.
Obnoxious for actually getting you to come in and do it with him.
Yeah, he's got to get
So-
off work, so we'll see if it works out. Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys in about an hour and a half for the Dugout Show. For Matt Jones, for the C Unit, for Clay, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and stay tuned for Ruskin and Jack coming up in just a moment on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Also, get up, get out, and get better.
Pay attention. This happens fast.